We will now recognize Women's History Month, and I would be remiss if I did not also acknowledge the impact that Title IX has had for women's sports and giving women a chance to pursue academic interests, but also to get more involved in sports. So I think that is an important tie-in for what we just witnessed here, and I hope all of the volleyball players have productive and successful collegiate experiences as well. Whereas women of various backgrounds have been leaders in movements that include the fight for emancipation, women's suffrage, civil rights, and peace, and whereas women have contributed to the arts, sciences, the military, medical fields, teaching, and politics, and while in many cases maintaining the balance between womanhood and employment, and whereas women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life, locally, nationally, and worldwide by constituting a significant portion of the labor force. And whereas the list of women's contributions travel a timeline that includes but is not limited to women like Susan B. Anthony for her prominent role in the women's suffrage movement, Madam C.J. Walker, first self-made woman millionaire entrepreneur, Shirley Chisholm, first Black elected to U.S. Congress, Sally Ride, the first female NASA astronaut, Madeleine Albright, the first female U.S. Secretary of State, Jen Welter, the first female NFL coach, Vice President Kamala Harris, first woman U.S. Vice President, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, the first woman Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, the first Muslim woman elected to Congress, Greta Thunberg, the youngest person ever to serve and be Time Magazine's Person of the Year, Deb Haaland, the first Native American woman to be elected to Congress and serve in the presidential cabinet, Rachel Levine, the highest-ranking openly transgender government official, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first female Black Supreme Court Justice, Haben Girma, the first deaf-blind graduate of Harvard Law School, Amanda Gorman, first National Youth Poet Laureate, Dr. Kamisa Corbett, the American immunologist who assisted in developing the COVID-19 vaccine, Viola Hosepian, the first woman mayor of the city of Rockville, and this is weird, and Monique Ashton, the first BIPOC female mayor in the city of Rockville. And whereas women impact the United States of America, the state of Maryland, and the city of Rockville, holding leadership roles in government, nonprofit organizations, and private industry. And whereas despite these contributions, the role of women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the fiber of American history. I'll also just do a sidebar here to say that women have been tremendously impacted by the COVID pandemic, and as we have seen in history and in the stats, sometimes bore the burden of childcare and having to lead the workforce in some cases. Whereas women continue to work and break barriers and stereotypes that keep them from successfully rising to the top of organizations and achieving the highest pay scale. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the City of Rockville do hereby proclaim March 2024 as National Women's History Month and urge everyone to celebrate the women in their lives. I move the proclamation. Oh, you go ahead and move it. You go ahead and move it.
I move the proclamation.
Who's the second?
Then I'll second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right. Thank you, everyone.
She said, what's good?
Thank you to our Human Rights Commission.
It's wonderful to celebrate so many inspiring female trailblazers, many of whom continue to make a daily impact in our community. Today, I'd like to take a moment to highlight a woman who has been a particular source of inspiration to me, Ada Lovelace. Back in the 1830s, Ada was pioneering programs for her analytical engine, a remarkable feat achieved a full 50 years before the advent of vacuum tubes. She was the first computer scientist. Her achievements stand as a testament to the fact that women are capable of extraordinary things when we set our minds to them. With great pride, I accept this proclamation on behalf of the Human Rights Commission, inspired by the legacy of women like Ada and committed to continuing their groundbreaking work. Thank you. Good job. You always have to make such a fuss.